mindsetters, and welcome to your grade 11 show. If you're wondering why I'm laughing, it's because of the teacher in studio with me, this lunatic here, who's another lunatic with me. I'm so excited, guys. You should have seen when he walked in the studio. I went mad crazy because I just love this subject and I love it when Llewellyn's in studio. Llewellyn, how have you been?
All right, and yourself, Lenny?
I'm good. I'm so excited, guys. Like, I can't even talk. That's how excited I am to be here. I hope you guys are also excited to be tuned in. Life Sciences, what are we doing today?
We're doing interaction in the environment.
Okay, grade 11s, you heard that, interaction in the environment with Looney and Llewellyn. Don't forget to post on Facebook, facebook.com/LearnExtra. Don't forget to hit us up on Twitter @LearnExtra. Download all your show notes, the videos, the schedules on learnextra.co.za/live. And thank you so much to Macmillan for giving us a great show. I will now contain my excitement and hand over to Llewellyn.
Hello. It's amazing. Woman was stunning. Haven't you noticed? I love it. Now, just relax it. We'll take this one small step at a time.
Breathe.
Right, before I start, guys, got to understand that this is very important for next year. Okay, so you cannot throw these notes away. They're not going to repeat the stuff. You need to keep it. So please, I keep telling everybody, and I promise you, half of you guys are going to throw it away. So whatever you do, keep it. Okay, this is like good information from me, from me to you, right? Keep it. It's very important. Okay, so the interaction in the environment, right? It's very simple interaction. Like when I walked in here and Looney went loony, right? Looney went loony about seeing me, and it makes me feel so good, right? But that is our interaction. So now we're having a look at the interaction in everywhere. Do you understand? Everything that interacts with each other. So let's have a look at it. In this lesson, if I can find my direction, right, we're going to have a look at the following things. Come on, there we go. We're going to look at predator, right, and prey relationships. Okay, you don't always get relationships as, how do I say it? Take a girl out or a guy out. That's not that type of relationship. Sometimes, but not all the time, right? But predator relationship ain't going to be like it. I mean, that's like the lion walking along, looking at impala and say, "Come, bud, going for a date. We're going to go eat some grass, me and you." Not going to happen, is it? Right. So that's the first one. We're going to discuss different types of competition. So in other words, if I put it out there like athletics and rugby, and hey, Looney, what do you think? That's different types of competition, huh?
Yes.
She's lost it, isn't it? She wasn't listening. I must keep you up that you must listen, right? Different competition. I'm not talking about different sports that we're competing, right? This is environmental stuff. I mean, I know we call them the springbucks, but you've never seen a springbuck run with a ball. What are they going to pass with their horns, huh? Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm moving on to the next one, right? Okay, we're going to go to specialization, specialization, right? We're going to have a look at that. Then, looking at the different types of symbiosis. Yes, you've done this before, right? I know you have. But do you know how many people forget about this? Right? When you did this, you were younger, right? And then your brain wasn't a sponge. Your brain was like a rock, okay? Like now and then things stuck to the outside, right? Then you got bigger and older, and then all of a sudden it became porous, and you've got holes in, you can take things in. And now that you're in grade 11, it's more like a sponge. You're sucking us dry of information, which is cool. I love it, right? So we're going to have a look at that, and then we're going to discuss the social organization and communities, how they come together and what they do to survive. Okay, so that's a nice, and considering change over time and succession. Like, why do things change? What does it do? How does it work? Okay, so that's this whole thing, and that's what we're doing. Okay, so try and pay attention. I know sometimes you think it's boring. It's not bad, and it's actually quite cool, right? Don't forget, when it comes to life science, you need to go out there and do stuff. If you're just sitting in there in your home all the time and just taking notes, and that's how you're going to study, it's not good enough, right? Go outside. You in South Africa, you in Africa, it's all over the place, right? Go out and have a look at things. Go see animals, go find them. You've got the internet, you've got everything, right? Go out and have a look at it. It's a lot of fun, I promise you. Okay, so we're going to have a look at the first one, which is, of course, predator and prey, right? Predator and prey relationships. Now, we're having a look at what it actually is. So let's get a definition, because remember, definitions are very important. Okay, so a community is a group of species. Remember, community. We've learnt about this before. Okay, the community is a group of species living in a particular area. Okay, an animal that hunts is the prey. Okay, hunts and catches. Let me put there. Hunts and catches and kills. That's the main thing. Hunts, catches, and kills other animal is called a predator. Now, a predator, you all know what that is, right? You think about it now and then. But would we, as humans, be predators at the moment where we're standing here? Looney.
Yes, I think.
You think?
Because we eat animals.
Okay, so we eat animals. So she's looking at certain things. Like, let's see. What do we need to do before we eat the animal?
Dead.
Right, so we kill it. There it is. There's the word. Okay. What else do we need to do before we kill it? We need to
cook it.
No.
Before we kill it.
Before we kill it.
Oh, you need to.
Something's wrong with this girl today.
You need to catch it.
Nice. So here we go. We need to catch it. That's very nice. Okay. And now we're talking about the plain Joe, me and you and everything. Do we hunt the cow and the sheep?
Us, humans?
Yeah. No, we don't hunt it, but we go, come on, this way. Let's go into this long line and into the building, and out comes this.
No. We've got people who do that, though, like their jobs.
Yes, it's their jobs. But what I mean is, humans,
no.
we just like, come on, that's it. They have some food, and you go, because it's good to eat so they can calm down. Right? You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
so,
I get you.
One of the things are missing, are we really predators?
Okay, if you put it like that, then we're not really.
You see how definitions work?
Yeah, if you put it like that, because we don't actually do that. Like, we don't go to the bush, like, find a cow or something.
Do for the other Joes. They go shooting parlor and all of that.
But
that's
like,
hunting.
normal people, like, we don't go there and, like, get a cow and, like, okay, come cow, and then now we slaughter it ourselves. Like, we go to the shop and buy beef, like, it's ready. So now you see.
She's not calling me normal. Us normal people.
No, the thing is, like, no, you are normal. Unless you hunt your own cattle and then you catch it there at your house and you slaughter it.
Yeah, I've got a big
and
yard.
if you've got that, then you're one of those people. You're
one
not
of
normal.
those people.
You're one of the
now
others.
I'm one of those people on the other side of the fence. That's great. You're digging your hole, girl. Just stay in there. Don't pop your head out. Right, okay. We can be seen as predators, right? Because we do eat meat. And if it wasn't for example, the abattoirs that kill the meat, right, or as farmers breeding them for food, we'd have to hunt for them. Right, we used to hunt for animals. Right, and people still go to the bush and they go kill impala and zebra and all of that for eating purposes. Right, so we are predators, we are hunters. Right, so there's the first thing. Next thing, I'm so used to it being on that side, and I thought I would change it because they always say a change is as good as a holiday. Right, so let's have a look at it. The animals that is being caught and killed, right, are called the prey. Now, that is not go on your knees, put your hands together, is it, Looney?
No, okay. That's a different prey.
That's a different prey, right? We're talking about guys that eat like this. They're chowing and they look up and they look, where are these brothers that's going to kill us, right? And then when they see them, right, there's no, come little kids, let's walk. It is, let's pick up our stuff and balega. Right, that's how you say it, hey? Yeah, that's it. And they cruise, and you can see the smoke coming out and the hair going like this. And you know what I'm trying to say? It's so cool. They run away. They're going to be caught and killed. So their life depends on how fast they can run. Okay, so that is the prey. Now, the feeding relationship. It's the big thing. The feeding relationship depends on the two together. So let's have a look at what it is. The feeding relationship between the predator and the prey is determines the size of two populations, right? Two populations, which I'll explain in a few minutes, right? The two population is regulated by each other in a negative, there we go, a negative feedback mechanism. We call it the predator-prey relationship. Now, negative feedback. Now, let me see, negative feedback. Let me give Looney some negative feedback. Let's see. You know, Looney, you're not concentrating on us enough, which means that you're not giving me your all. And I know that you can do so much better than that. So please, whatever you do, put some effort in. Right. That's negative feedback. You get where I'm coming from. And I'm sure a lot of you have heard it. When I was at school, I heard it. So I know you've heard it.
No, there was worse though at school, but you being kind.
I'm being kind.
Yes.
I'm being nice.
Our
Now,
teachers were very mean.
it's not that type of negative feedback. Okay? It depends. It shows you how the relationship between the two affect each other. So when one becomes positive, the other becomes positive. When the one becomes negative, so does the other. They work on each other. Okay, when one increases in size, so does the other. So let's see. I've got some pictures, not many today, but I've got some to actually show you how beautiful is that. That is my wife's favorite bird or animal. Right, can you tell me what that is, Jenny?
Fish eagle, I'm guessing.
See, nobody misses it. She loves the call, she loves the beauty, the savageness of grabbing it and tearing it apart. Wait, I'm getting carried away now.
Yeah.
Right. So she loves this animal. Now, that's why I put it in. Right, so if we have a look at it and I carry on going down, I've got this strange looking thing. Now, let's have a look at it. I'm going to use 2 different colors to show you. Okay, this here, up and down, is a wave-like motion. Okay, and it's not the sea, it's a graph. So let's have a look at it. Underneath, it's about time. Okay, the long period as we go. On the side is number of individuals, right? Okay, cool. We happy? And then, what is missing on this graph? Looney, can you tell me what is missing on this graph? Just a glance, something that you always have to do. Okay, you tell me. But let me put it in. Let me make it
Thing
easier
is, I
for you.
can't see clearly. Number of individuals.
Oh, come over here and look.
Time.
Come on,
Okay.
get up and get here. This is
Okay,
life science.
fine.
Really get some involvement
Okay,
here.
yeah.
Okay, let's have a look. What is on here? Which is the prey and which is the predator?
Okay, so this is the prey.
How would you say that? Because they've got a key here, right?
Yes.
Okay, they've got a key there.
Yes.
What I want you to do, I don't want you to do things like this. Okay? It is allowed. Okay? It is a thanks, Lee.
Okay.
It is allowed. But what I want you to do, if you have a good look at it, a nice close look, so look close at the board, right? I want you to see that there's 2 types of lines, right? You get a solid line and you get a stippled, I don't know how else you, like a dotted line. Right, so what I want you to do is over here, you will put, for example, it's your prey, right? And I'm just going to put predator. There we go. And then for the prey, it is be a solid line. And for the predator, I want it, you go a dotted line. And what is that called? Do you know what that's called?
A broken line. Oh, what?
This piece. What is that thing called?
A key.
A key. We always need a key. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to put the dotted line in here so you can see what I'm talking about. Right, there we go. Roundabout so that you can see what's going on. There it is, okay? And then I'm going to have this solid line, if I can get to there. Okay, yellow, and up we go. Down again. Just follow the line. We know how easy it is. So I want to show you exactly what's potting here. Okay, there we go. So we've got the 2, and you can see there's a key. So automatically I can picture and I can understand and I can see what is going on in that graph. Now, let's get to the crux of the matter. Right, so if I have a look, let me see a nice color here. Let's try green. Okay, so the green is what we're looking at now. If you have a look at where this part is the highest. Look at where this part's the highest. Look at where this part's the lowest. This part's the lowest, right? Of course, the highest, the lowest, and the lowest. There's a reason for that. And I want you to understand this very carefully. Okay, so we've got 1,000 impala, right? You all know what impala is. But wait, let me change it. We're going to use something that we all have heard before. Right, what do you think, Lini? We got 1,000 springbuck.
Okay.
There we go, springbuck. Beautiful animals. It's our animal, our national animal, right? So we're going to use a springbuck. So we got 1,000 springbuck, right? And they are living happily, eating grass, living their life merrily, and that's all fine. And in this area where these 1,000 springbuck are, right, we have 3 cheetahs. Right. Now, those 3 cheetahs are very important. Okay. So what happens is, when the times become good and favorable and lekker, right, there's nice luscious grass and it's like a feast, right, and there's a lot of water, what do the springbucks do? Can you tell me? When it comes to stunning time and there's a lot of grass and a lot of water, what do the springbucks do?
They graze.
They graze, yeah, they graze. That's the normal day job, whether it's winter or not.
Look for prey?
No, they don't look for prey. They eat grass. Their grass don't run away.
Oh,
Stick
wow.
with me, Looney. What is the big thing about life when it comes to animals? What do they want to do?
They want to mate.
They want to mate. Lovely. So
Wait.
there we go. So they want to mate. So there's 1,000 springbucks, right? And those 1,000 springbucks are there, and they decide they are going to have offspring, right? They're going to have little springbuck. Right, so now their numbers have increased to 1,500. So let's have a look. There's the 1,000 springbuck, and don't look at the numbers. I'm just trying to explain things to you. So there it is, right? This number, let's change it to 100 so you can understand. They increase all the way because they've had lots of babies. Right, so you get where I'm coming from. They've had a lot of babies, which means from 1,000 they've gone up to 1,500. Okay, because of all the kids. Yes, you with me? Then the prey, if you have a look at it, the springbuck increased in size because there was a lot of grass and a lot of water. Yes? Now, what do the cheetahs eat? They eat springbuck and drink water. So the springbuck has become increased, which means there's a lot more springbuck. So what do the cheetahs do?
They look for the springbuck.
Yeah, but they mate. She's not. I'm gonna when I get hold of her.
No,
right? They mate, which means they have babies. So they increase in size, right? And when there's so many more, now all of a sudden we're going to hunt for animals. And they hunt for animals and they kill a couple, right? Which brings them the springbuck's numbers down, am I right? And if it brings it down, is there enough food for the cheetahs? No. So what happens to the cheetahs? They die out. Do you understand? So that's the negative feedback. So when the springbucks decrease in size, so does the cheetahs. And if that doesn't happen, there's big problems. Right, I want you to think about that, and then I think we need a break, hey?
Yes,
Looney?
we do. Of
What do
course
you
we
think?
do.
Yeah, go and stretch and do your exercise, I reckon.
Yes.
Off you go, Looney.
Mindset is like me. Please go drink some water and some juice and just get your brains flowing again so that Llewellyn doesn't catch you off guard and that you know what's going on. So go take a break and we'll be back straight after this. Welcome back, Mindsetters. I hope you guys are nice and refreshed and you're ready to learn again with Looney and Lou. Our show is proudly brought to you by Macmillan. If you've just joined us, and we're talking about all these things, relationships, what is that? In the environment, interrelations. You see, Llewellyn's laughing at me, guys. I'm really trying. It's been a while. It's my first time doing life sciences in term 3, okay? So I hope you guys are keeping up with us and you're ready to learn more. So Llewellyn, straight back to you.
Okay, I've taken Looney to the headmaster's office, right? And she was sorted out there. She came in crying, but she did her makeup, and now she looks better. So hopefully she's going to concentrate and listen to us. Right, got to put our foot down at time. Right, so you understand this. You've got it. And we know a prey, for example, and a predator. Predator feeds on prey. Cheetah is the predator. Prey is the springbuck. Right, so we all happy with this? Now, the next thing we're going to have a look at is competition. Now remember, it was that rugby and that athletics and all of that's competition, right, Lily?
Yes.
Okay, are we talking about that competition?
No.
Good girl. You see, the brains are working. She switched on.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So let's have a look at it. Competition. Now, competition is quite cool. If you think of competition, okay, competition happens in humans in specific things. For example, we compete for jobs. Yes. We compete for marks. Perfect, in class, right? We compete in every type of sport. Yes. Okay, where else do we compete? We compete for girls, right? And the girls compete for guys, right? You gotta look good, smashing. Am I right, Looney?
Yes.
Because she smiles, she knows exactly what I'm talking about. Yes, Looney, hey. Dolly yourself up, make yourself look good. You want the nicest guy to be the perfect person for you, right? So we compete. It's in our nature. Okay, but why do we compete? Okay, so that is the biggest thing. So there's pointless, if you think about it, between myself competing with my cat. Hey? Think about it. I'm trying to find this beautiful woman, and I'm going against my cat. Who's going to get it? Okay? Is the cat going to get the beautiful woman, or am I going to get the beautiful woman? Yeah, no, I agree. The cat. I've got 2 chances of that happening. Right, so the cat, because they're cute and fluffy. No, I'm kidding. Right, we need to look at the different types of competition. In life science, we're looking at specific competition, right? There's 2 types that we look at. The first one, it's always nice to understand. The first one is intra-specific competition. Now, yes, it's a big word, but I want you to look at specific things about it. So let's have a look. That one. There, I'm going to try and make a line between them. There it is. Intra-specific competition. The tra means. Okay? That means it's between you and me. Or should I put it in out their world? It's between a lion and a lion for the same food. So, not a pride of lions. We're talking about this pride competing against that pride for the same meal. Do you understand where I'm coming from? Right? That is intra. So let's have a look what the definition is. Right. The type of competition that occurs between individuals of the same species. Right? So lion versus lion. Right? Impala versus impala. It's everything. I mean, this is all animals competing, always. Human versus human. Okay? Sheep versus sheep. Dingo versus dingo. Do you know what a dingo is?
I was just about to ask you, what's a dingo?
A dingo is a wild dog in Australia.
Aww.
Right, Hannah? Yeah, they're vicious.
Okay.
No, it's not kangaroo versus kangaroo. That better.
Yes,
right?
but dingo sounds so cute.
Are you with me? It's all the same animal, same species. Right, so that is it. Now if we have a look at it. Intra-specific, if I can click there we go. Intra-specific competition is very intense. E.g., for example, right? We're having a look at kittens competing for mother's milk. Now that is why you get one kitten bigger than the other, because this kitten wants all the milk, and that one is the weakest one, push him out of the way. You get where I'm coming from. That's the first thing. That was a nice one, because cats are soft and gentle, right? So there we go. That's the map. Or a lion, a male lion, competing for territory or for a mate. There's another one, like I was telling you, fighting for a girl. Okay? I'm going against another guy to get the best girl out. That's what we're looking at, right? So it's to find a mate. Next one, we're going to have, well, before we carry on with that, what about for food? Okay? So it's the milk with the cats, the lion, the food. Right? A tomcat, which is the male cat, going against another tomcat, which is a male cat, for the cat that is on heat, the female cat. You with me? Okay? That is all competing in species, together. Intra. Okay? Intra. Very, very important. Right. Now, remember I told you about territories. We're having a look at this line with a territory, right? Let's have a look at territoriality. Okay? That is a big word, and it's just about territory. Okay, so let's have a look at it. How many animals compete for space and for food? A certain area may be able to support only a certain number of animals of a particular species. One of these animals will decide whose territory it is, right? They'll look at each other's territory. For example, your territory at the moment is your house, or your dad's territory is his house, right? My territory is my house. That's how we look at it, right? And if I say to you, you get somebody off the street, it doesn't matter who it is. Yes, you've got friends and all of that. They come in and they visit, and that's cool. But just think about it. Some person off the street brings his bag, walks into your yard, opens your door, puts it on your lounge, on the floor there, sits on your couch and turns on the TV, right? What do you think your dad's gonna do? Looney, what would your parents do?
If I? Sorry.
If a man off the street walks into your house,
Yes.
you don't know this man,
Yeah.
and he puts his bags on the floor, sits on the couch, turns on the TV, and starts
No,
watching.
you can't do
What
that.
is your dad gonna do?
My dad would probably like be very mad, like he'd be very angry, like chase the man out.
Yes, why?
Because like it's disrespectful to just go into someone's house
Why is it
without.
disrespectful? Please, man.
We don't know you, first of all.
Yeah.
Secondly, you didn't even say hello. You didn't greet the elders. You just came there and then you made it your home. You switched on the TV. No, it's not right.
It's not right.
No.
Okay, but the main thing is it's mine.
Yes.
It's
my
mine.
dad's house, not yours.
Exactly.
Yes.
Now that is a territory. That is his territory. Now that's why people don't like it. That's why if you've been robbed or anything like that, you get so mad because they've entered your territory that you are protecting. Right, Lily? Right. That's what it feels like. Kids nowadays with their blazers and their cell phones and everything like that, that is their territory, their blazer inside them. They feel safe in that. Right. Their things are safe in that. So when they get violated by somebody else going into it, right, somebody else is coming to their territory now, they want to fight. Okay, and to fight for territory. That is the main point. Do you get what I'm trying to say? That is what territory is. And territory is only big enough for certain people. Okay, so that's what they're saying. When it comes to territorialism, let me bring it down so you can see that thing one more time. There it is. There it is, that big word. Territoriality, right? That word, it's about territory and how they compete for territory. Right, now, the next one I want to have a look at is also a different type of competition. Right, so if you can tell me, if you do athletics, right, it's quite nice. If I look at athletics, we have the whole season going against this school and going against that school and going against this school, and then at the end, right at the end, Looney, what do we compete in? There's one big one. What's it called?
A derby day.
Okay, she looks at it as a derby
Athletics.
day. Athletics. You know when all the different schools come together?
Yes.
What is it called? If it's a high school, it's inter-high athletics. Yeah.
We never had that. I went to an all-girls school. How am I supposed to know that?
No, I'm just putting it out there. I want you to
Inter-high.
see. You said derby. Now, derby's the same type of thing. But normally it's called inter-high,
Okay.
right? Or if we have a look at all different provinces going against each other, it's interprovincial.
Oh,
right?
that stuff.
Yes. Inter. Watch. Inter. Big thing. So have a look at this. I'm going to bring this down all the way a little bit. Come on. There we go. Work with me. Right, a little bit further. Work with. That's it. There we go. Inter-specific. Okay. Now look at this. Can you see the ER? Okay, that is what we're looking for. The other one, right, was intra. This is inter. Intra means us together, right? Inter means different. Now it's different schools competing. You go, it should be, right? Inter-house, if you've got little houses, inter-house and inter-schools. Do you see the difference? Inter-house is the same school competing against each other. Inter-schools is different schools competing against each other. Are you with me? You're getting there? Right. Now I'm going to explain to you how that actually works. Okay. Inter-specific competition is a type of competition that occurs between individuals of different species. Different species. Okay? For example, a lion and a cheetah. What does a lion eat?
A lion.
Yes.
Doesn't it eat like almost all the other animals?
Okay, but it's called meat.
Meat, yes.
There we go, eats meat. What does the cheetah or let's say leopard eat?
Meat.
There we go, meat. She's on the ball today.
Yes.
Right? They
Trying.
both eat.
Meat.
Now, if there's two impala in the ground, right, and there's a whole bunch of lions and some leopard, what's going to happen?
No, the leopard, it's late for it, hey?
No, the leopard's late. Why is it late?
Because aren't lions like the king
Main
of...
man. You know, they
yeah.
walk around with a
With
leather
that,
jacket up and say,
yes.
is it blue?
Yeah.
Huh?
They've got like they're popping their collars with the hair. They've got their swag there, you know.
Their
It's
swagger,
their,
they get up, they
it's
get
their
the walk.
territory. Yeah.
Right? You know that whole walk.
Yeah.
They the men, right? The problem is that the leopard is up in the tree. He's watching, right? And falls down, grabs that meat up the tree, and no matter how much swagger this lion's got, lion's not going to climb the tree, but right? Yes?
Really?
That's how it works, my girl.
So it will just,
Up in the tree, it tries,
yeah.
but it's like a dog.
Oh, okay.
I know it's not the right way of looking at it, but a lion's like a dog. It doesn't have the claws to climb up.
Okay.
The claws, they don't come in.
But isn't a lion a cat?
Yes, but I said it's like.
Okay.
Got similar features, not
Okay.
exactly a dog. Right.
Okay.
But why does it jump down, pick up the meat, and go up the tree immediately? Lenny, come. Why does it jump down, grab the meat, and run up the tree?
Because it knows that the lion won't be able to catch it.
Exactly. So what is the key thing there? The lion is gonna steal the meat
Oh,
or
okay.
kill the leopard. Why is
Oh.
it gonna kill the leopard? Because it's
In its territory.
competition for the same food. It's not
Okay.
about territory this time.
Oh, okay.
Okay, it's about competing for the same food.
Okay.
Okay, so that is the big thing. So let's have a look at it, Jack. Okay, it is similar to intra-specific. I want to bring it down a bit, so because you know I'm short, so I need to get it going here. Okay, it's the same as intra-specific competition, but it is not as intensive. Okay, as that type of competition. Like for example, you know when you always have a look at it, you will see that a lion catches a prey, right? It goes and it hunts, this whole thing hunts, and they bring down an impala, and the impala's lying there, and out the corner of their eye comes something that irritates a lion like you have no idea. Right? Do you know what that is, Looney?
What's that?
That a lion's busy eating, and out the corner of the eye they hear this sound, right? And it's coming from this side, and they get very irritated. Do you know what it is? It's called a hyena.
Oh, that thing.
That thing.
Oh.
Don't call it a thing, it's beautiful.
No, but it makes a noise. Like it makes a funny sound.
Makes a
Like
funny
it's
sound.
laughing.
That's it, it laughs. And if you've all seen The Lion King, right? You've got Mufasa, which
Yeah.
is this big, beautiful lion, right? And then you've got those hyenas, right? Now, they compete for the same type of food, and they're in the same territory. So they don't fight for territory. It's never about territory, because that hyena doesn't care what or how many lion females there are to mate with. So it's got nothing to do with mating, okay? It's got to do with food only. So they're competing for food. You understand where I'm coming from? Now, that is the problem, okay? So the leopard and the lion compete for food only. He doesn't care about the mates. He doesn't care about anything. But if the leopard is walking around with kids, the lion will kill the cubs because kills it for later. It doesn't want more competition. Okay, but it's not as intense. The lion is not going to go out of its way to go and kill this animal or fight with this animal. Okay, so there's that one. Okay, the next thing, there's two type of how am I going to get this? This interaction, the competition between two individuals of the same species is called intra-specific. Two different types of species competing against each other, inter-specific. Right, so let's have a look at it. The whole point, I want you to look at, I'm trying to put it into as easy words as possible. Because you always put the big words and then you break it down. Like for example, when two species with the same or similar ecological niches occupy, let me do the whole thing, occupy the same habitat, right? The ecological niches will overlap to a greater or lesser extent. How big are those words, hey? Huge. Now, can I put it into like mine and your language?
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Normal people stuff.
Yeah, you ready? When two animals of different species, okay, eat the same type of animal or live in the same area, what happens is their boundaries are going to interlink with each other, and that's where the competition is going to come from. Okay, niche is what they're good at, what they eat, what they do, right? Ecological niche means what they're good at is ecological, in other words, their food and all of that, right? And then, of course, if they occupy the same habitat, is a place where they stay, then it says the ecological needs will overlap. In other words, this leopard's territory is going to overlap into the lion's territory. It's not a big problem, but there's going to be conflict for food. Right. Luni, did you get that? Is that better English?
Yes.
Okay,
Much
but
better.
you've got to do it like this. Right. So make sure you get these notes. It's very cool. And then before I think we go to a break, right, because I really need to, have a look at that. Hey, cute, beautiful kitty cats. Soft, fluffy. My mother-in-law is allergic to it. Right.
I don't like cats.
I'm sure I'm going to get a couple. Right. So that's the kittens that I showed you. I had another one. I think it's coming later. Okay. So there, nice short little kitties, and have a look at it. Okay, please guys, you need to send me questions. I need to know if you're understanding this or not. Right, Looney? And when it's during the break, I'm going to have a look at it. Hopefully you've sent me some nice things. Looney, I think it's a break time.
Okay, cool. Guys, we are going to take a very short break, but quick shout out to Mabog on Tabiseng, Sfiso Justice, Kamukhelo Vincent, Kamukhelo again, Gift, and David. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. I see you guys are posting on our wall. You're enjoying the show. You think Llewellyn is a comedian, and you love the show, and you love us, and you love Mindset and Learn Extra Life. So with that, let's take a short break, and we'll see you straight after this. Welcome back, Mindsetters. Like I've been mentioning in the Grade 10 show, we do have a recruitment drive program for CAPS aligned work. So if you could please just ask your teachers and anyone you know who is interested in the following: content development for grade 10 to 12 CAPS, review and video presentation for grade 10 to 12 CAPS. I'll ask Lou during the break what CAPS actually is, because I don't like explaining something to you guys that I don't understand. So CAPS basically is like a form of syllabus, but your teachers will understand. So just tell your teachers and urge them to go into mindset.co.za/learn/jobs and apply for this great opportunity, guys. Applications do close on the 26th of August. That is my thought process there, sorry. Applications do close on the 26th of August 2013. So make sure you urge them and push them to apply very soon, very fast, so that you know everyone's happy and they're part of Team Mindset. Back to you, Lou.
Caps is the stuff that you buy in shops. You put over and it's
no.
cap. Isn't that caps?
No, but this one is like serious caps. This is like caps, C-A-P-S, like capital bold letters caps.
Yeah, then you got a nice cap and a nice long peak in that cap.
How can you develop content for a cap?
It's the design and then the things in front. Isn't that it?
No, Llewellyn, now you're going to confuse the children.
Never worry about that. Just tell them about caps. Just say caps. Right. Okay, cool. Now, we're having a look at specialization. Now, competitive in sexes. Right, if we have a look at it. I just want to get over it, read with me, and then we'll take it from there. Right. Competitive exclusions occur when one of two competing species is much more successful than the other. Now, guys, this one here, competitive exclusion, right? There we go. Competitive exclusion. That's the big word we're looking at. Now, I know I use these big words, and I know you need to understand it, and I really do feel bad. But you're doing biology, so get over it and let's go for it. Right, yeah? So let's get there, get our minds to it, and write out that word 500 times. You're not going to forget it. Right, I had to do that. So, am I right, Looney? Mm-hmm. That's terrible, but that's life. Right, so let's have a look. Let's break it down. Competitive means we're going to compete, and exclusion means we're going to exclude you from the equation at the end. You get me? Right? So, what this tells me, okay, it means that I'm going to compete with somebody else for a certain thing. Like, if it was between us as humans and I put you in this small area with all your guns and knives and knopkitties, and there's a knopkitty, huh? Looney?
That's...
Yeah, the knobber.
Yeah.
Yeah, knopkitty and the shambak and you name every tool you want, right? And we put you in an area and we put a dome over it. Okay, cool. And we put some animals and everything like that in. And then we take the same amount of chimpanzees and we stick them in there as well. Right. who is going to survive? Are we going to compete for the same thing? Looney, what do you think?
Mm-mm.
Why do you say no?
Because.
Okay,
I'm in
that's a
trouble
good
again.
answer. Now, you can't write that in the text because all answers under rock and draw a rock. It's not going to work. Right. So what we need to do is we need to answer it properly. Now, we as humans eat meat, but we also eat fruit. We eat vegetables. We eat all this other stuff. Right. So what we're going to do is we're going to have all our tools and that, and we're going to hunt for food. We'll survive. If there's a nice apple in a tree, we'll go and fetch it. Right? You see how it works. We'll have shelter. We'll compete for certain things. Now, this chimpanzee is going to do the same thing. It's also going to compete. Right? But because we have all our tools and our whatever we need, and they don't, right? We will push them off everything. Okay? So we'll compete for the same food, but we are much stronger, more dominant, which means they are going to fade out. And if we carry on with this, certain things would happen. It's exactly what is happening. We are much stronger than any other animal. So what do? We take over their place. Okay? Now, where have you seen things in the wild? Okay? And I mean the proper wild. We have to put parks up where we can put wild animals in. And yes, the parks are huge. But in the good old days, like with Jan van Riebeeck and all of them. Huh? That's Jan van Riebeeck in history. That brother that came in Cape Town, huh?
Yes.
Came into Cape Town. My memory is brilliant. I haven't done history since that it's 7 or grade 9. Yeah? So Jan van Riebeeck pops in there. He gets off the ship. He stretches and he goes, hey, what is that? Somebody bring me a gun. We need some food. And there the impala runs. Nowadays, we've got this huge fence around the park so nobody can go in. And we drive in, we climb in our car, we drive in, you can't come out, you have a look at the animals. So it's the wild, but it's not. You get what I'm trying to say? We've created that area. Okay, now, if we didn't do that, we would have driven them to extinction. Now, that's what this is. This is competitive exclusion, okay? The successful species survive, and the other species disappears. In other words, they move out of the area or they drive them to extinction. So let's have a look. If I'm right? I know I'm right, but it's not the point. Right? And let's have a look at it. It has a result in extinction of most of the organisms that we have existing on Earth. That's why things become extinct. Right? Because of certain things. Like when I was in Mauritius, they said that the dodo, because the dodo lived in Mauritius. Now, the reason why they called them the dodo was because, Looney? Huh?
The dodo.
Yes.
It's extinct. Okay, sorry.
I know. Looney, why did they call it the dodo?
Oh, I don't know.
What does dodo sound like?
Dodo sounds like...
Ah, that's exactly why.
Yeah.
Because a dodo was a very inquisitive bird. This is what I learnt over there. So hopefully they taught me well and weren't making me look like an idiot, right? But the dodo was not a clever bird. So what it did was, it was an inquisitive bird. It would come out and greet you, right? And of course, if a bird comes out and greets you and he looks nice and plump and lekker, what are we going to do?
You're going to... Yes.
On the bra, we're going to have a spit and we're going to have a lovely supper.
Yes.
And that's what happened. They were so easy to catch that here we go. That is why between us and a lion, and we come together and we have no weapons in that, we become the lion's lunch. So we become the prey, they become the predator. Right, so we overcame the dodo because we were the superior race. Yes. Okay, now, that is the competition. Now, if we have a look at the significance of this whole thing is a big problem, because if we kill certain things, something else happens. We'll talk about that in the next few minutes. Okay, so we're happy with this specific one, which is the competition, and what it is? Competitive exclusion. Don't forget it, write it down, summarize it. The next one is, I've gone too far, there we go, competitive coexistence. There's the next one. Now, competitive, it's one of these again, right? Looney, are you listening? Competitive is like this, right? What does coexisting mean?
Coexisting.
Coexisting.
Living within.
She's lost it. She has lost
Coexist.
it. What is...
To live. Or competitive coexistence.
Yes, forget about competitive. What does coexistence mean?
I told you, to live. You coexist. You like a part of existence. A part of life. A part of... Help me here. Like, don't...
We exist together.
Yes.
As a, not as a family, but we coexist as a
Oh my goodness. Okay, yes.
No,
There.
we coexist.
I tried.
There we go. Like, I'll explain it to you in a few minutes. Right, so, Looney, me and you're going to sit down and we're going to do some studying after this. Right, so,
I never
coexisting
did
occurs...
life sciences. Can you please forgive me though?
I always forgive you, Looney. Right, coexistence
Yeah.
is when two competing species coexist in the same ecosystem. So in other words, they live together. Can you give me one example? I've been mentioning them all the time. Like this.
Springboks, lions,
The
cheetahs.
lions and the...
Cheetahs.
Yes, that's coexisting, right? So there we go. The organism has overlapping, right, niches. We all know what a niche is, right? Yes?
Of course.
Niche is that ecological niche. Can you
Yes,
remember?
I had
There we
yes,
go.
that
Right?
in my head.
And competes for the same resources, but they coexist because they use the resources slightly differently. Okay, so for example, how is it? Now, I need you to think about this very carefully. Why is it that every time you see impala or you get wildebeest and zebra, you always see them with each other? And I don't mean all zebras or all impala. You do get them, and that's quite often. But a lot of the time, they're coexisting, they're walking amongst each other, and they're intergoing with each other, and they don't fight with each other. Okay? There's a big reason for it. So let's have a look at it. I'm going to bring this down a bit so I can see. But before we go there, I'm going to leave it there for a moment. This whole thing is called resource partitioning. Let me tell you what it is. The temporal partitioning is when two species use the same resource but in different times, right? So in other words, some things come out at night, some things come out in the day, some things come in the morning, something comes out at noon. Right, so that's the first one. The next one, if you have a look at it, and I'm going to bring it down, this is how they coexist. Look at it, look at it. The giraffe eats at the top of the tree, right? Then you get the kudu, which eats the middle part of the tree, and then you get the little duiker, which is over there, right? And that little duiker is not going to have any problems from the kudu, because the kudu eats the middle part. And the what's name eats the top, and the duiker eats the bottom. Okay, so you get where I'm coming from. They coexist together in one thing. Right, so now that I've given you all of this, go and study further, and I'm sure I'll see you next week. Looney.
Yes. I hope from you next week as well, guys. I have so much fun on a Wednesday when it's Life Sciences. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you to Macmillan for sponsoring our show. You guys have been great. Until next time, it's a goodbye from us.